Today we start a series on college towns, and first up is the classic city of Athens, Georgia, home to the 2021 college football national champion Georgia Bulldogs. Episode 96 starts right now.
Welcome to the Family Vacationer with Rob and Danny. The go-to podcast for families on the move.
Welcome, friends. I'm Rob.
And I'm Danny, and this is episode 96 of the Family Vacationer. Today, as we mentioned, we're starting a series on college towns across the U.S. We got some great towns lined up like Oxford, Mississippi, Ann Arbor, Michigan, Eugene, Oregon, Chapel Hill, North Carolina, and more. Now, as college football has started back, we know that a lot of families have made their tailgate plans, and we wanted to go a little bit deeper, take a look at some of these amazing cities and show you some things that you may miss on your visits. So we hope that this will be a help as parents visit some of these campuses and with their kids, and as they prepare to make the decision on where they'll go to college.
And first up, Danny and I are going to stay close to home and take a look at Athens, Georgia. Now, one of the first things that a lot of people think of when they think of Athens is the music scene.
Yep.
Athens is home to REM, the B-52s, and it supports a vibrant music scene at the Georgia Theater, the 40 Watt Club, and many, many other venues across town. Downtown Athens is also a really fun and eclectic collection of shops and some pretty amazing restaurants. So joining us today to talk about Athens is Hannah Smith. She's Director of Marketing and Communications for visitathensga.com. Hannah, welcome to the show.
Good to be here, Rob.
Thanks for joining us.
So let's start off by talking about Saturdays in the fall. I know that there's a rumor you guys have some activities going on in the fall on Saturday afternoons, evenings.
Yeah.
I know that the pageantry of college football, it's amazing in and of itself, but it's next level in Athens. So can you talk a little bit about how Athens changes during that time and what are some of the activities going on? Just what does a football Saturday look like?
Sure. So it is, like you said, just magical, full of excitement. Our population almost doubles on football weekends. So we love seeing all of the cars and RVs headed into town with all of the Georgia flags waving. Yeah. We'll see some new national championship flags and stickers out there this year for a change. For sure. But yeah, folks will head in Thursday night, Friday morning, and there are some activities on Friday for those that want to head onto campus. They can go to the Special Collections Library, which does a special football themed exhibit every season. So they'll have that open, and they do guided tours on Friday afternoons before football games. There's always going to be plenty of live music on Friday nights and Saturday nights during football season. And this year we have a new product for all of football season, and it's the Athens Beer Trail. We have 6 breweries now in Athens, and folks are able to pick up a field guide at any of the breweries and get their page stamped at each one they go to. And then they can turn that in for a prize, and they can take all season to fill it out. There's no time frame. So that'll be new for our football fans this year. And that's just on Friday.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've always wanted to know, if you're planning on coming to town for a football game, how early do you need to make like hotel reservations, like 3 years before, or like how early?
You know, it really all depends on the matchup. So the marquee SEC games, it will be a few, as soon as that schedule's released, people are hitting speed dial. So the Auburn game, those hotel rooms have been gone for a while. Yeah. I always recommend to folks who are maybe coming with young kids for the first time, or just want to be in Athens and be part of the excitement. They can pick a non-conference game. Right. And still have a great time and not have to worry about the hotel room or the tickets years in advance. Those are still going to be somewhat accessible to folks who plan closer in.
It's pretty amazing. I was there for the Clemson game a couple years ago when it started the season, and just when you walk through all the fans and you see it's multi-generational, get grandparents out there to little ones. It really is a great family experience.
I
Yeah.
totally agree.
Yeah. Well, I got to ask you because I am a Georgia alumni. I got my doctorate at UGA. Very proud of that. So I'm a Bulldog.
Awesome.
Love the campus, love the school. So for potential students visiting with their families, what are the spots in town that they definitely need to see when they're considering attending UGA?
Sure. I'm a proud double dog myself. So
Right.
I love talking up not just Athens, but the campus itself.
Mhm.
UGA is the birthplace of public higher education in America. So when folks step onto North Campus, they really are going to get the majesty of that feel.
Yeah.
The buildings there date back to 1801, which is
Mm.
older than the city of Athens itself.
Mm.
So definitely take time to walk through that historic North Campus quad. Go over and see Hurdy Field, which has a beautiful fountain now, but that's where the early football teams used to play.
Mhm.
If you could even imagine that kind of thing. Another thing that's really special about Athens is that historic North Campus sits just across Broad Street from downtown. So, you can, just step right across the street from there and get all the excitement of downtown Athens.
Yeah.
So definitely I would start with the campus itself
Mhm.
and then branch out downtown.
The botanical gardens I've visited, those are awesome. So I know when when you're considering where you're going to go to college, and when your parents are with you, I know like when I was considering going, like you're looking at all different kinds of things, and so those kind of things like the ancillary things like a botanical gardens, or just
Mhm.
all the
Mhm.
different charms that Athens has that you may not immediately think of, but they do add to the city's charm for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, we definitely recommend that students and their families get outside of campus, and the State Botanical Garden of Georgia. It really is a magnificent resource. It's the official botanical garden for the state of Georgia. It has over 5 miles of nature trails. It has a brand new porcelain and decorative arts museum as part of that campus. And so definitely that's a great place to go, as is the Georgia Museum of Art. That's the official
Oh
art
yeah,
museum for the state of Georgia. So we're proud to have that in Athens as
Yeah.
well.
awesome. Well, if families are in town for a football weekend, or they're visiting to consider UGA, for their kids, if they have smaller children with them and they're looking for something to do, what would you recommend?
Yeah, the State Botanical of I'll switch and I'll repeat that. The State Botanical Garden of Georgia also has a new children's garden that opened shortly before the pandemic. So a lot of people haven't made it out there yet,
Right.
but it's several acres of interactive playscapes. And that includes things like being able to see what vegetables look like under the ground. There are dinosaur bones to dig, and some of those dinosaur bones are actually authentic. They're real dinosaur bones.
Wow.
Wow.
There's a wonderful forest play area with huge netting that people of all ages love to climb on. So it's wonderful out there.
Nice. Want to talk about events and festivals. What festivals go on that might interest families when they're in Athens?
Yeah, fall is not just football season, it is festival season too. So the ones coming up this fall that come to my mind are the North Georgia Folk Festival, which will be back in late September out at Sandy Creek Park. It's a full day of wonderful folk and Americana music, plus arts and crafts and interactive activities. I also really love to recommend for people of all ages, including kids, every Halloween weekend, we have the Wild Rumpus Parade and Spectacular. So it's lots of fun for people to come just watch, or they can get in costume themselves and march in the parade. So there will be brigades of groups of friends and family that will do themed costumes and all march together. And then there'll be individuals as well. And it's really where all of the weird, freaky part of Athens is on display. So it's tons of fun. Another few things in the fall, we have Porch Fest, the beginning of October. So there will be bands playing in historic neighborhoods in the front yards and on porches.
Cool.
And then Half has a half marathon and 5K in the fall that lots of people travel to come do as well. Because the finish line of that half marathon is through Sanford Stadium. So that's just a real big treat to be able to do a victory lap through Sanford Stadium as part of that race.
For sure. Or collapse right on the 50-yard line, whatever,
Whatever. Yeah.
Whatever works.
Yep. We've got Twilight Criterium every spring. That'll bring 20 or 30,000 fans to see those professional cyclists. And then, of course, Athfest every June with hundreds of bands that play all weekend long.
Wow.
Yeah, and you mentioned the music scene in Athens, Georgia Theater, 40 Watt Club. If you've got older kids, the music scene in Athens is something else for sure.
Yeah. A lot of those are all ages shows, and some are 18 over and over. So it's not required that you are of legal drinking age to go to most of the music performances in town.
Well, let's talk about the food scene in Athens. We love talking about food on the Family Vacationer, and there are so many restaurants worth visiting in town. We talked offline a little bit about some of my favorites, Marker 7. We didn't even talk about the burger place. Oh my gosh, I'm drawing a blank. Killer Burgers.
There's Grindhouse.
That's it. Yes, Grindhouse Killer Burgers. Yes, that's one of my favorites. Oh my gosh, I'm drawing a blank on the 5 Bar, right?
Yep. Downtown.
What are some of the other places? I know downtown is just chock full of all kinds of restaurants, but what are some places you recommend families eating while they're in town?
For families, I always point them towards Washington Street. Ted's Most Best has a huge patio that's covered and a huge sandbox that kids just love to roll around in. And they also do awesome wood-fired individual pizzas that have very inventive toppings, and it's a great atmosphere. Across from Ted's Most Best is Clocked, which is my favorite hamburgers. And they have decadent milkshakes as well.
Oh, wow.
And just a block up is the newest location of Condor Chocolate. So you can take the kids and they can watch how chocolate is made. You can just see it pouring into the vats and into the molds for chocolate. And that's a real fun treat to take the kids to see too.
Yeah. All right. Good. We were talking about booking hotels long ahead before you need to come. But tell us about lodging in general in Athens.
Yeah, we do have a number of great hotel options, both downtown and out Atlanta Highway towards that retail area. So there's a lot of different options that suit a lot of different families. If we're thinking about bringing kids and needing a little bit of room to spread out, and you want to be right downtown and near UGA campus, I would say a couple of options would be the Homewood Suites or the Spring Hill Suites, or even Game Day Center, which are condominiums that can be rented out overnight through their rental program.
I've actually stayed at the Game Day. That was an interesting experience for sure. Lots of room for sure.
Yeah, it's fun if you need extra bedrooms. They have 1, 2, and 3 bedroom units there.
Awesome. Well, let's put you on the spot for a second and talk about your favorite parts of town. Like when you have visiting friends and family, where do you take them?
I do like to go out to the State Botanical Garden because they have lots of outdoor and indoor activities now. It's wonderful to get out on the nature trails, plus go to the new porcelain museum, and the conservatory is just beautiful with orchids that are dangling from everywhere. But then I do want to make sure we hit downtown.
Right.
Walk down Clayton Street is where a lot of the great shopping is. There's been a improvement project going on for a while now, and so the sidewalks are much wider, more inviting. A lot of the trees that had to be taken out for some of those upgrades are now being replaced. So it's a great inviting spot. And then, there's a lot of close-in little neighborhoods that just have a nice vibe to them. Normaltown is a place that's really been getting popular recently, and that people might not have been to yet. It's out near where the new medical campus is for the medical students, out Prince Avenue.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, for more information on visiting Athens, consult your travel agent and go to visitathensga.com. Hannah, thank you so much for coming on the show with us.
Thank you.
Thanks so much. I had a great time.
Hey everyone, if you're ready to plan your next family vacation, call my dad. He would love to help you as a certified travel agent. He never charges a fee to help you plan your vacation. Email him at rjones@starsteptravel.com. Get started planning your vacation today.
That does it for this week's show. Join us next week as we stay in SEC country and we talk about Oxford, Mississippi. We'll see you next time.
Thank you for listening to The Family Vacationer. Make sure and subscribe to hear more of Rob and Danny.